Hello everyone and welcome back to another Thursday Thought. As you can see, I'm just chilling in my Eno. I'm at the barn. I'm waiting on the horses to finish eating. So I just thought I'd jump on here and give a Thursday Thought. So today's Thursday Thought is what it was like to grow up and have horses. Now, you're going to think that sounds weird. It wasn't like I was a child and grew up having horses. Like, it wasn't like my family was horse or were horse people and like I grew up being a horse person. I ended up taking lessons when I was 6 and eventually got my own horse by the time it was 5 days before my 13th birthday. I'd been praying and asking God to give me a horse before I became a teenager because I wanted that whole, experience of having a horse as a kid. Weirdly enough, when I look back on those days, especially now, I realize that I was in fact a kid for most of that time. And it's just weird to see now and think about how I was a kid. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is what it was like then versus what it's like now. As far as I grew up with horsey friends. I had horsey friends who we would get together as often as we could. And by horsey friends, I mean girls who loved horses too, but they also had horses too. So we got to do a lot of stuff together. Like during the summertime, I was almost at the barn every single day. It was only 5 minutes from my house. At the time, I had Buddy, and he was my first horse, and it was such a cool thing to get to just do whatever the heck you want to with a horse. You didn't have to ask permission. It wasn't a lesson. It wasn't somebody else's horse you were borrowing. It was the coolest thing. I did some of the dumbest things that I look back now and go, wow, I was such a brave kid. I'm not exactly a chicken now, but I'm looking back at it and watching what I did. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did all that. We would go out in the pasture and we would run around, and our favorite thing to do is we would go to the bottom of a hill and we would race up to the top of the hill, and we'd do that several times. And surprisingly enough, Buddy was really fast for such a little horse. He was actually probably the fastest, and he won most of the time. I just remember we would go do that, and then we'd usually end up going and the place we were living at in North Carolina was a small town, and we would go around and go to eat, or we'd go swim at the local rec center and go see movies, stuff like that. One time, one of my friends, she actually had her own place, and she would trailer in her horse to come visit me and my other friend who were boarding at the same place. And one time we actually went to her place to have a spend the night party, and part of that spend the night party was we were going to sleep in the hay barn, which, sounds cool and all, and it was great, but I was scared to death that coyotes were going to come in because it's like an open front. It wasn't like it was like a closed-in area. And then my other friend, she was afraid of spiders. And for some reason, they put me on the outside where it was most likely that I would see coyotes. And they put my other friend on the inside, who would most likely see spiders on that side. We played music really loud to keep any of the animals away. And then we slept, and it was fun. And we wanted to do it again. We never got to do it again. But I remember spending summers just every day up there, and it would be hot, and we'd go and we'd ride, and then we would hose down our horses after we were done, and obviously ended up hosing ourselves down. There were lots of adventures of running around and getting ourselves into trouble more than once. There were plenty of times where we would go and adventure outside of the pasture. There was a forest right behind us, and we would go out there and get ourselves into trouble. Lots of falling off and lots of memories in that way. And we would jump over logs in western saddles, mind you, just because we were crazy like that. And then we did videos of where we pretended like we were cowboys and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. And, I had that a long time ago, and then when we started getting older and I moved to South Carolina, obviously we fell out of touch. And then one of the friends who at the time she owned Rio, and so obviously she got out of horses and she sold me Rio. And now, even though I have my trainer, I really don't have any horsey friends anymore. And it's kind of sad because I just remember how much fun it is to have somebody who's into your hobby that you get to go hang out and enjoy your hobby with. And even though I love horses, it's completely different when you're doing everything by yourself. Because, you know, the Lord created us to enjoy things together as people. And even though I enjoy my alone time, it's a lot of fun to share my love of horses with other people. So today's Thursday thought is, I can't wait to be able to take my horses out and go places and go to shows and stuff like that and go to trails so that I can share my horses and share the love of horses and meet new people. Because more than anything, horses are a community and it's so much fun. And I wouldn't trade that fun community for anything, which is part of the reason why I actually train some kids, why I teach lessons to some of the kids, is because I enjoy it so much, and I enjoy sharing my love for horses so much, that I'm trying to suck them in so that they will be able to buy horses, and then we can do our thing together. You know, just spreading the love. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that Thursday thought. I'm enjoying the breeze. I've got about 20 more minutes before I need to go check on the horses. I can already hear one of them kicking the stall door, but they didn't have that much, and they can wait until the others are done. So I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.